Hey guys, this is Andy here. I hope you're all keeping well and safe during these times. Today I'm gonna do a video a little bit different from what I usually do. Usually you see me posting content of me playing or guitar videos, guitar solos and so on. But today I was thinking I was gonna show you how I got to produce an entire track by myself for a client online. As you know, I am mainly a guitarist, a gigging guitarist, but when I cannot gig, I do a lot of work online in my studio. So especially during these times of COVID-19, I spend a lot of time at home, and this was a really good source of income for me. And I think for every musician, it's something you should definitely try. So I got contacted by this guy online that wanted me to produce an entire track for him. He just gave me a rough demo of what he wanted. And he said, I need drums, bass, and guitars. I need you to work and record a demo for me that's actually good quality, a good sound quality, and something I can work with, basically. So, and I said, yeah, no problem. And so today I'm gonna show you how I got to produce this track bit by bit, instrument by instrument, and how I got to program the drums, record bass, and guitars, and also how I got to mix it and got with the final product. Okay, so where do I usually start when I have to work on a project like this? In this case, the guy gave me his demo to work on. As you can hear in a second, it's a very basic demo. He said, don't expect nothing too professional, it's something really rough that I had, but I want you to come up with something that I can work on, that I can work with, and something that is good sounding mostly. So really feel free to put your input on it. It said this is an old demo and I want to start to get a more modern sound out of it. So I had a listen to it and I said, okay, so I can work with that, and plus this style is punk rock, so it's quite straightforward. So I'm gonna show you just a little bit of his demo just to see what I started with. Okay, so as you can hear, it's very rough, very basic. The drums are not coming out as much, but there's a lot of guitars there, a lot of vocals. The mixing is not quite right, so but it doesn't matter. It's giving me something to work with. So the first thing I do after dragging his demo in my project is marking all the different sections in the song. So that gives me a clear idea of what I'm working with. So intro, verse, any breaks or bridges, pre-chorus, chorus, and so on. Okay, so the time signature is 4/4. Then I set the tempo 180, and yeah, that's a good starting point. And after that, I create my tracks. So I have drums, bass, and any guitars. And I create the tracks as I go along, So as I feel I need to add more, I just create a track and add to it, like overdubs or stuff like that. So then I start working with drums. So I need to create a drum beat, a drum groove that sounds good, that sounds live as well. It's not like a computerized drum, something really good sounding. So the programs that I like to use that is amazing is Easy Drummer, this program here. So I have different libraries in Easy Drummer. See, there's a dream pop, Easy Drummer to modern, all different styles. But the ones that I liked for this project is called the pop punk library, and I got it just for especially for this project. So it sounds really good. It's really punchy and tight sounding. So here's how it sounds. So here are all the parts of the kit you have, and you can change all the parts as well. So kick drum, you can go and select different types. I chose the first one, sounds pretty good already. and then the snare as well. A lot of different choices in there. You can change the pitch and the volume of each part as well. Okay, so what I do next? So I need to try to come up with a basic beat that sort of gives you an idea of what I need to work with. A sort of like kick and snare beat. So I can do this very easily in Easy Drummer. I go on here, tap to find, and then I tap in my beat. So just kick and snare. So for example, okay, and then I click on Show Results, and then it gives me all the options here that match the beat that I just created. So let's hear some of those. Yeah, so you can hear the kick and snare stay the same, but all the other bits are different. So in a bit you can have maybe an open hi-hat, or in another one you can have some more cymbals, you know, whatever suits you more. Then when I find a beat or a kind of groove that I like, I drag and drop it in here, and I can make further modifications to this, to each groove, by clicking on here. So I can choose the amount of how I want each part of the kit to play, how many hits I want on that particular part of the kit. So once I have the whole track done, and that means kind of creating each section and connecting it with fills, something that sounds quite good, I then drag and drop the whole section like this, and then I drag and drop it in Logic, and it creates this MIDI file that, which then I can finally tweak a bit more, you know, to suit my needs, basically. So I'm gonna just show you a little bit of the drum track that I created in Easy Drummer. So as you can hear, it's a lot punchier, it's a lot more present, it's a lot more live sounding, you know, it's just out of the box like that. I can then choose, if I go into the mixer, I can choose this, there is some compression on it, some ambience. I can choose if I want to mute those and then just work, you know, and just add my compression later if I want to in Logic, but you know, it sounds pretty good, just like this. Okay, so once I finished my performance in Easy Drummer, I drag and drop the finish file in Logic, and I come up with this MIDI file. So I can then fine tweak the MIDI file to my preference by clicking on here. So there you go, it shows me all what I've done, all my drum performance that I've done in Easy Drummer. But I can move around each part of the kit as I want. So each one of these different keys is assigned to a part of the kit, like kick, snare, cymbals, and so on. So if I want, I can then move each note around like that. I can also change the velocity or the length of the note. So that gives me a lot of flexibility to really fine tweak my performance and really get a nice polished performance out of it that I can work with. So I don't have to worry about anything else later. I have my drum track ready, and then I can add stuff on top after that. Okay, another important thing that I also want to do is when I'll do the mixing, I want to be able to process each part of the kit individually. So as you can see, this is just a single file. So if I add any process on here, it's just gonna work on that track. But I want to be able to, let's say I want to add more compression to the kick or the snare. I want to be able to do it on each single track of the drum. Okay, so the way you do that in EZdrummer is you go here in Mixer and click on multi-channel. Okay, so each part of the kit now is going to be assigned to a different channel in Logic. When you go back to Logic, you'll see, for example, here you find a plus and minus sign. If you click on the plus sign, it'll automatically create new tracks for each bit, each part of the kit. For example, kick, snare, hi-hat, and so on. So let's say I want to hear just the kick drum. I can now solo it. Or the snare, for example. Okay, and then I can also add EQ or comp or any plugins to each single part of the kit. So that's really handy. So I do that, and I come up with all these different drum tracks. Now in EZdrummer, I also have the option to add, there's an ambience track, which kind of simulates the feeling of being in a recording room, you know, so you get that like sort of reverb, natural reverb out of it. And I can choose how much I want of that, you know. I also have a compression track, but I'll not usually use this because I'm gonna add it anyway, you know, in the mixing process.